Hey, what's up, family? What's up? It's Brandy coming to you to well, actually, I'm not bringing any particular, uh particular thoughts or words tonight. Tonight is Freestyle Friday. And so I don't know how many of you are aware, how many of you listened to my last video, but Freestyle Friday was an idea to come together on Fridays to fellowship and to just kind of kick topics out there, and we'll kind of just discuss whatever is on everyone's mind. And so I might say a couple things, but honestly, I'm probably just going to open it up right off the top because I mean this is fellowship time. You know what I'm saying? So, um, DJ, my husband, will be joining me in a little bit. He's upstairs with the children right now, making sure everything's settled and good. And then he's going to come down and join us. So shalom to everyone that's in the building right now. Peace and blessings. Thank you for coming to spend some time with me, spend some time with us. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, I will put the invite out there. Doing things a little bit differently today. And I'm going to post it. See here. All right. And if anybody wants to come on, just come on and we'll, get this fellowship started. I'm going to keep my eyes on the chat as well, just in case anybody wants to throw a topic out there too, while we're chatting, on the panel. And yeah, let's go. You said USSE almost sound like you could be first cousins. Really? I don't know where Sister E is from, but it might be like I don't know. I have a country twang. You know what I mean? So I agree. In a sense. Yeah, but I don't know exactly where she's from, but it might be like a country twang thing. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, the invite is out there. I don't know how to pin it yet, y'all, but I will just keep posting it. Shout out to Dave. I appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate the shout out from Dave and from Brother Yacoba from TU Ministries and from everybody. I appreciate the love, y'all. Straight up. I'm just a child of the Most High, just coming on to, kick it with my family, share some thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it. But while we're waiting on, whoever wants to come in and thank you, Dave, and have a little conversation with me. There's something I wanted to talk about, and like I literally just left Yacoba's broadcast. Literally just left that, right. And one of the things that was being talked about right before we got off was the ships of Tarshish, and there was something funny I found when I went and read over Ezekiel 38. I might have went through 36 through 38 or something like that recently, but something caught my eye, right? So we know in Isaiah 60, it says that the ships of Tarshish is going to bring us back first, right? Well, if you go to Ezekiel 38, where it's talking about Armageddon, you know what I mean? Gog and Magog and everything, and how they come against us when we come back to the land. We have, we're living in peace. Father Yahuwah is dwelling in the midst of us. There's no issues, no violence. We have so much cattle and goods. We're like, yo, this is, we need more space type situation. Ships of Tarshish, keep that in mind, right? I saw this. And I told you guys that I was going to work this out before I got on here, but the days go by so fast, literally so fast. You blink and it's a week later. You know what I'm saying? So we are going to scroll down here, and give me 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I said here we go, but I'm almost there, you guys. Sorry about that. Give me a second. I am looking through this first. I can't believe I wasn't more prepared. Give me a second. Go to take a spoil. Okay, watch this, y'all. I found it. Thank you for being patient with me. So the ships of Tarshish is going to come to bring us first, right? Okay, so talking about let's go up just a little bit. Talking about the people that's going to come up against us: Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. With them, all of them with shield and helmet. This is 38 verse 5, Ezekiel 38 verse 5. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Tagarma of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Okay, now watch this. Look who's standing on the sideline talking about what are you doing. Going down to verse 13 from Ezekiel 38 5 down to Ezekiel 38 13. Sheba and Dedan, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take away a great spoil, or take a great spoil? So we see on the sidelines that we leave on the ships of Tarshish, right? And then on the sidelines, when all these people, Gomer and everybody come up against us, right? Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish are standing on the sideline like, are thou come to take a spoil? Like, y'all really gonna run up in there? Like, y'all really gonna do that? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Y'all see that there? So I thought that was really interesting that we live on the ships of Tarshish, first. We leave on the ships of Tarshish, and at the same time, during Armageddon in Ezekiel 38, Tarshish, the merchants of Tarshish, is standing on the sideline like you gonna go in there, you gonna take a spoil, so that's something that I'm talking about. My goal was to talk about things that have happened in the week or random topics or whatever, but it's just that's something that caught me in the middle of the week. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. Dave. So I was thinking this whole time that they're going to take us back on the ships of Tarshish, right? But they'll turn on us, when we get back in the land. But according to scripture, the merchants of Tarshish are like standing on the sideline, like, y'all really, you really going up in there? You really, you try to take a spoil? You really, And so that's interesting. To me, it seems like whoever Tarshish is that is coming to help us, they are actually genuine and wanting to help us. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I came across the weekend. Of course, also, I mean, I wasn't expecting. I didn't realize that what's we've been talking about since coming and awakens this morning. The spy balloon in the sky. Just chilling over the land, just looking. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, I didn't expect that to happen this week, but that goes to show you that you can wake up. You can you literally wake up and something's popping, and that's why I don't pay too much attention to mainstream news just to see what they're saying, but I like to decipher what they're saying because a lot of times it's a lie on top of a lie. But it's just interesting. Shalom, 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 Karis. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming home. I appreciate it. I thought I was gonna be by myself for a while, so I appreciate it.
Well, this is I feel like one of them news commentators. I'm just over here on the Chitlin circuit. Coming from
You're going from channel to channel to channel.
going from channel to channel. This is late breaking news. This is like
Right,
Paul and
right,
Adrian. Hey everybody, this is
right,
late breaking
right. Apollo
news.
Adrian. Yeah, yeah,
Russia, China, they
right.
don't they. If you don't know,
It's popping. It's
it's
popping right now.
it is on and popping, and
I
oh,
mind blown, mind blown. I think we're all at that point. When you don't wake up and expect something like that to be happening, but we should expect the unexpected right now because we are in a time frame of the birth. And being a mother, being someone that's given birth, um, we're in a different contraction period. And this is what I mean. The first contractions that you have during your labor is just kind of the workup to get, I don't, we all adults here, but to get, your cervix opened up and everything like that, just a contraction after contraction. We're at the end where the contractions are like, boom, a minute later, boom, a minute later, boom. Those are the contractions that you have when you're getting ready to give birth. And so we wake up and it's boom. And then we go to sleep, we wake up, boom. And that's how close we are to being born because it's It's different type of contractions. You know what I mean? So,
And the husband that's standing by, that's getting the holy mess
oh
squeezed out
man,
of his hand. You
woo,
got it, babe.
woo,
Ah,
woo.
where did you get that strength
Woo.
from?
Yes, yes. I almost picked
Thank
DJ
goodness we're
out.
in the hospital because you
I,
broke
I
my thing. You broke
Yes,
my
yes,
hand.
yes, yes. He told me, look, DJ, one time when we were having our first son, he told me I was gonna break the bed. I looked at him like he was like, you talking about to me about breaking because I'm holding on to the bed, like
It
he
was
like you
looking
gonna break
violent, huh? It was like, yeah.
the he like
Oh,
you gonna
yeah.
babe, you gonna break the bed. I'm like, don't talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
So but yeah, it's so intense right now, and it's like, and we literally been talking about this. I feel like we've been kicking it all day. You know what I mean? Just chopping it up about this because this is major. It's really surreal because I feel like I'm living this, but I feel like I'm not living it right now. You know what I mean? Does anybody know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm experiencing it, but am I really? That's how bizarre it is to me.
It's like what is that? It's the old school song. You know what I'm saying? Here's the old school song. It's
right,
"Don't Wake Me, I'm Dreaming." You
right,
know what I'm saying?
right, right, right. I
It's like,
mean,
am I on the? Is this New Jack City? You know? Is
right.
this?
Look,
You know what I'm saying? But
whew,
because it is exciting, but at the same time, it's like, then do we go get overwhelmed? And I'm not telling people, it's like, look, don't head for the exits just yet, right?
yeah,
Don't go crazy just yet. You know, let's just take a look and let's see, because you have to understand the powers that be, they're going to have a plan to come home, to come hard after us.
oh, absolutely,
Because why? Because we're seeing what's happening, and you have to understand they're seeing what's happening.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, and
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 if the Gentiles see it, the Gentiles are asking questions, and they're
hmm
going to be up in here asking all sorts of questions. Hey,
right,
what's going on here? What's happening? What's this? What's that?
or maybe even just listening. You know what I mean? Try to get a whiff of what's happening. Try to get a whiff of what's going on because their churches aren't addressing this. Their churches are, okay, today we're going to have, a sermon about faith, and let's go over Daniel and how Daniel was faithful, and or it's the same old, same situations, that they present over and over again. We're going to talk about faith, and we're going to talk about salvation of the soul. And the thing is that, salvation of the soul, that's milk. You know what I mean? That's something that you should be able to get like that. You got to move on to the meat, but they don't have any meat to chew on because they don't know where to get it. You know what I mean? So we're at this point where we about to throw a steak at them. When we're born as a nation, most I just go throw a steak at them like, here's some meat, and they're not gonna be able to digest it, because they're still on milk. So
Well, and that's where I look at it like this. And each of our families, there's that guardian redeemer, right?
mhm.
And that's why, look, when people say, "Oh, I hate this walk. This walk is so frustrating." No, you are literally a guardian redeemer for your family,
Mm,
because there's someone in a lot of our families, right, that has been awakened.
yeah,
Who's the crazy person? Well, I'm crazy because, I
yep,
say this because,
yep,
I deal with this because. And there's that one righteous that's like affecting. You don't know how many you're affecting. You could be on a platform, you could be affecting 500,000. You're gonna be on by yourself just affecting 50.
yep,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
But you are bringing out a message that the Most High needs you to bring out for this season,
right,
because the people that were with Jeremiah were like, Yo, I'm leaving. I'm out. I'm going
Mhm.
over to the Babylonians, and guess what? They couldn't go back and report. Man, the Babylonians done gave us food. We were eating. They said, "Hey,
Right.
when we leave, y'all can have the best of what's left over." And guess what? These folks were happy. They're like, "Look,
Yeah,
we
well,
obeyed the Most High. We obeyed Jeremiah, and you want to know what? We look at us. We're looking good.
huh.
And all the because what did they do? They left all the poor folks, right? All the servants, all the lowly folks, and they're like, look, forget it. I'm just going to listen to what the Most High says through this prophet because why? Because I know that this is what the Most High
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
what happened? Man, they were treated well
Yep.
until they rebelled,
Right. Right.
until the leadership, the princes rebelled. Hey, we're gonna stand this thing on up. Well, no, and in the season, look, people are so hard pressed to save a nation that's dying.
Yeah.
It's dying.
Yeah,
This thing
but
is
you know,
dying.
some people, some Gentiles have given up, and they'll say like, I don't know what's happening, but this country is just is turning to something that I never knew it to be, and they're kind of throwing up their hands. Others are like, save America. Others are thinking that they can piece this thing back together. But see, it's in so many pieces. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like taking a hammer to a glass or to a plate and just pounding on it for like 10 minutes, and it's in so many pieces that you can't take any type of hot glue or anything to put it back together. But they're still looking for the pieces on the floor. Like, okay, maybe if I take this and put this with this and this, then maybe I can make it work. But we're beyond that point. We're beyond that point. And I remember a brother told me right when the situation kicked off in 2020, told me in the midst of that within 2 weeks they believed that it was going to go back to normal. Well, we're in 2023.
Yeah.
And not only has it not gone back to normal, but I mean, uh, look at it. You know what I mean? And so,
It's not normal to have a air or a naval vessel that is capable of hypersonic missiles right next to the United States. That's not normal. It's not normal to
right,
have Iranian an Iranian fleet to the south of the United States by the Panama Canal. It's not normal to have a naval a Russia and Chinese fleet over in the Pacific. It's not normal to have ships next to Hawaii.
no, it's not.
Nothing's
But
normal.
there's still this thought that that maybe, just maybe, like it won't enter into the land. You know what I mean? Like there's a what's the word I'm looking for when you are just um I can't think of the word off the top of my head, but it's
Naive
like,
or optimistic
yeah,
or ignorant.
yeah, maybe it is an optimism. Like they're Babylon's being surrounded, but they're like, well, maybe they'll just go away, or
Willful ignorance, right? Right.
yeah, yeah, or
Or negligence.
it's a
One of
it's a
those.
wishful thinking. You have to come into reality. What is the reality of the fact? The reality is, um, Russia's over there doing drills, doing nuclear drills for their family. They were. I'm sorry, for their citizens. Maybe it was a
Hmm.
few months ago. Okay, they
Yeah.
were doing drills in Moscow, seeing how quick they could get their citizens to the bunker. See, this is the difference between a country that wants you to die and then a real country. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not saying that I stand behind Russia or anything like this. This is just an examination. Okay, if you know that you're about to go to war and you really care about your people, right? Um,
Bingo.
then you do what they're doing. They're having nuclear drills for their citizens and figuring out
Hmm.
how fast they can get their citizens to safety. Okay. And then they're putting air defense systems on top of buildings so that they can protect their citizens. They're not trying to just protect their higher ups and their generals and Putin, and they are trying to protect their people. And at the same time, they're mentally preparing their people and say, hey, we might have to die a glorious death. Hey, we might have to go out, but you know what? We're standing over here. People sitting on the couch eating cheeseburgers and French fries. Thinking that everything is hunky dory. So
You
And no
You
offense if
know
you eat cheeseburgers, I eat cheeseburgers now, but no offense. But I'm just saying, there's a stupor, and it reminds me of Romans 11:25 when we had that blindness and we couldn't see. It's like
hmm
they wave in front of their face, and they're like, but America's wonderful and nothing could happen to America. You're being surrounded. You got people over you, watching you, and so I'm just,
Well, Sister Brandy, remember when COVID had first hit and all these folks in the nursing homes done died out?
yep. I
Oh
do remember
man.
that. I
Oh
do
man.
remember that. And I, mm, mm, I couldn't, I watched a documentary on that. I think it was probably from off of Stu Peters' situation.
Might have
When it
rumbled.
first, yeah, when it first popped off, when that first, they were talking about that, and I know that elderly people have their immune system is weaker than ours, but
Yeah.
that was suspicious. No, that they were dying in droves. You know what
Man,
I
they were putting
mean?
pillows over those old
Yeah,
folks'
something's
faces.
going on just so they could say
You know
that.
what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Here,
Just
just cash it up.
yep.
Cash it up.
Well, if they'll line you up and with a syringe and threaten to, or not threaten to, but bribe you to inject yourself with poison, they'll smother you. They'll do whatever to you. You know what I mean? Because they will kill for a purpose, and their purpose is to make it look like something. You know what I mean? So to scare you enough to line up for the poison. So I just I'm at this point right now where I can believe it, but it's like it's happening. Like we all keep saying, it's happening so fast that I don't really know. I'm processing day by day because that's how fast it happens. So
Hmm.
but yeah, you best get that anti captivity spray bottled up. You better get it. You
Oh,
better get it ready. You got to
wasn't that
manufacture it.
perfect? Wasn't that perfect? I'm gonna hit them with some Jerry curl juice,
Oh snap! Oh snap! I don't know if they're ready for that.
the blue
Blue
sheen
screen.
with
Oh
with
no.
Afro sheen all together, so
Oh
they can have a nice glisten, thinking that
yeah.
nobody's gonna see me.
Mm-mm. I tell you what, we
Oh,
we we're about to go from like we've been talking about. We're about to go from "you're not the people" to I hear that Yah's with you. I will come with you. It's literally, I can feel it, and of course we can all feel it because the Most High has been talking to us and dealing with us in the spirit. And something that I recall maybe a year ago, there was a portion of time where it felt like where everybody, even channels that don't communicate, everybody at one
hmm,
point was talking about the separation. And
yeah.
and I, even at myself at that time, I was going through a separation, like separating from certain family or friends or whatever, just that people that I don't know. Maybe there are people that won't hear it or listen. It's just a separation. The Most High is boxing off His people. You know what I mean? Those that are going to roll, and walk with Him, He's separating from those that are not. And so we may not know who the rebels are, but the Most High knows who the rebels are. You know what I mean? And so I feel like He's doing that separation early on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, yeah,
but,
and let's also understand this. Separation brings what? Preparation, right?
mm,
And what does the Most High always do? He always has to separate his what? His warriors, because what they're getting ready to do? They're getting ready to fight. Our fight is actually something different. It's not necessarily a physical fight. It's a spiritual one, because here's the thing. When we are up and out of here, it's going to take everything in our might to say, Father, I thank you, but we have to move. And then guess what's going to end up happening? Our people are going to see us moving. Where you going? I'm leaving.
right.
What does that what does that mean you're leaving?
1 second. Let me follow you. Hold on. Right.
Yeah,
You know how we are. We see people running and we run too. You know what I mean? That's
bingo.
how
What did you take?
how
What's in your
humans are.
hands?
Right, right. What
man,
you doing?
just
Where
my
you going?
whatever ID I can, ID in a check card, bank account, whatever you can,
Right, right.
give me 5 minutes, I'll be right there with you. And but the
Yeah,
thing is, let's not kid ourselves. That they're gonna be putting things in plain sight, right? But then they'll
yeah.
just deny it. Like today. Well, there's a spy balloon. I'm gonna put it in plain sight and see America just denied it. Okay. They're ready.
And the thing about it is you're supposed to be so big and bad and so tough and so, but you're like, well, we're just gonna leave them alone, and we'll just keep an eye on it and just let it kind of be up there. It's like that person, that bully that's like always like, yeah, what's up, you know what I mean, like, step to me and I'll fight you, and then that one person actually step, and then the
Mm-hmm.
bully backs off, you know what I mean, like, oh, why you try to fight me for? No, you said step, so I stepped up, what's up, you know what I mean? So that's what the US reminds me of, that type of bully that just, is an all talk, you know what I mean? Or you'll go and you'll trample down, countries that can't defend against you, right? But when somebody
Yeah.
steps up that can go toe to toe with you, then you want to be like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I just, yeah, I'm sorry, so, but y'all, I know. Okay, we got 108 people in the building, and I appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all trying to tell me nobody wants to come on, nobody wants to chop it up. Come on now, I'm gonna post it. I don't know how to pin it, but
Oh, you all right, I'll help you
you
on
gonna
that.
guide me through
Okay.
it. You
So,
gonna guide me through it.
yeah,
Okay,
I'll guide you through it. Let's Okay. So, on the top of your like your little chat section on the right-hand side, it'll
top of the
say
chat
like,
section.
yeah, so on the
Okay.
right-hand side, it'll
Yep.
say like, it has like a check mark, and the check mark for YouTube, go ahead and
Well, I
press
see a
that
check
check
mark.
mark.
I see a check mark by my face.
Yeah, that's probably your that's your gonna be your YouTube channel. So it shows like where you're broadcasted to. So
Okay.
click on that,
Okay.
and it'll say like view the channel, or you see that.
Yes. Yes. View on
So go
YouTube.
ahead, open. Yeah, so go ahead, view that on YouTube.
This is crazy that you walk in. I feel so unprofessional right now.
Look, black folks is just gonna help each other. Look, we
Right.
already
I
know. Look,
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay, so continue to YouTube. Okay.
yeah. So now that you have your YouTube on up there, now go ahead and in the comment section, put the StreamYard, paste that StreamYard link in there,
Okay.
and then it'll give you three buttons on the side, and you can put pin message.
Okay. Hold on.
Do you see it?
Okay. Hold on 1 second because it's taking a little bit of time to load. Not
Hmm.
yet because it's still loading. Why is my computer being so? Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Okay. Okay. So put it there. Oh, here we go. Yay!
There you go. So that'll be pinned in the chat.
Yay! I did it. Thank you, Karis.
There you go. There you
All right
go.
now. All right now.
All
Y'all
right.
come on and come up here and let's chop it up, family. But I don't know. I wanted to run this back real quick because I know people are coming in right now. I wanted to share a revelation that I had with y'all, and I'm not one of those people like I have a new revelation. Follow me, my personality coming out, y'all. But um, at the end of Yakoba's broadcast, Taylor Ministries broadcast, they were talking about the ships of Tarshish, and DJ's here, and I came across this recently that I had never seen before. Okay, so it said that the ships of Tarshish are going to take us out. And for those of you that heard it already, I appreciate you listening to the rewind. But said the ships of Tarshish are going to take us back, right? And then when I was reading Ezekiel 38, talking about Armageddon and how we're being come against and everything like that when we're back in the land and living well and so on and so forth. And it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, and all of them, and Gomer and all his bands and Tagarma all come against us. Look who's on the sideline, right? Let me see. I'm going to go back to it. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the young lions thereof shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? So the point I was making earlier was Tarshish is the ships of Tarshish brings us back. And then during Armageddon, we see Tarshish, the merchants of Tarshish, standing on the sideline going, you really going to go up in there and you trying to go take a prey and you trying to take a spoil. And so the point that I was making is that I was thinking that Tarshish, they were going to help us across and then turn on us. But from what I could see in Ezekiel 38, it looks like, however long it takes, Tarshish is standing on the sideline, at least the merchants of Tarshish. So Tarshish is standing on the sideline watching them come against us. So I thought that was interesting. And that was something that I found just doing some reading. You know how you read and then the Most High, you see something you never seen before. And that stuck out to me. But that's it. So I just wanted to say that there's 120 in the chat. I am excited about that.
Shalom, family. Yes. Shalom. Hope everybody's doing good.
We're excited.
Yeah, we are. I just had to make sure the kids were straight. How you doing, Brother Karras?
Look, I'm doing. Look, I don't know how I'm doing. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm excited. I have a lot of mixed emotions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, I'm not going to tell you that I'm not excited. That would be a lie. Right. I'm like, wow, it's like we're here. It's like we're here. Like you ever go to an amusement park and it's like, yeah, we're next in line to ride the roller coaster.
Right.
Finally made it to the roller coaster.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
well,
you get that adrenaline.
Yeah. You hear that roller coaster zooming through. It's like, oh man, I'm about to get on that.
Yeah. I don't mess with roller coasters though, because I told the Most High a long time ago when I was 16. I told him I got on a roller coaster and I said, if I make it off of this, I'll never get on it again. Mm-hmm. I prayed and I made it off. So I'm never getting on one again. But
we ain't gonna talk about the teacup ride.
Right, the teacup ride. But shalom, Brother Dave. How you doing?
Hey, greetings, family.
Greetings.
I feel like I've been listening to you all day. I've been listening to Karras. Yakoba came on. It's just been jammed, like a
it's a gathering.
Around everything that's going on
and
right
that's
now.
What I really enjoy is that, we've been called out these churches, point blank. We've been called out these churches, but, we still want a fellowship, and this is today proves that, man, oh man, there's been a lot of fellowship in today. And I love to see it. And, welcome.
In light of everything that's happening right now, it's like we have somewhere where we can come and we can talk to each other about what's going on, because we can't pull, say, one of our coworkers aside and be like, hey, you know what this means, right? Or a certain family was like, hey, you know what this means. They're, everyone's kind of like, right. It's going about their lives. So, yeah.
Brother Dave, what's on your mind? How do you feel about these things that have been happening, not just today, but, during, this past week, even,
an accumulation of things.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been ready, I've been ready to get out of here, but it's just weird that knowing that, you're probably in that final hour, and it's, you got the butterflies in your stomach and you're wondering, Jude, I'm not worried about myself. Look, if I die, I die. I didn't die 1,000 times. I've been in some stuff that, I was knocking on death's door. So death ain't one thing I fear. It's just me trying to get as many people out of here as I possibly can. You know, like my kids and people that I know. I just I'm just worried. My thing is, I hate to fail at something. And this is a situation where all of us are having to face something that this is out of our hands. This is totally by faith. This is totally by happenstance. This is totally by chance. You just
Yeah.
throw everything in a pot and mix it up all together. And my thing is that I'm just waiting for that flashpoint where everything kicks off and God says, all right, I want you here 90 miles an hour, um and to think that you want to be at a state of grace in your head where you're able to hear the Lord's voice when he tells you, I need you to move over here or I need you to move over there. Because that's this is right now is a life or death situation for all of us. So we gotta be on point, and this is one time where you can't afford to trip and you can't afford to fail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think we are, talking about listening to the Most High, and we are at a place right now where we know the scriptures say that He's going to rescue us, and that He's not going to leave any of us in this land. So I know that when the time comes, He's going to we're all going to move at the same time. You know what I mean? That's my personal opinion, personal belief. From what I see in the scriptures, He has to have us on one accord, and one wavelength, and when it's time to get on the boats, it's not going to be a secret. It's not going to be word of mouth or, hey, did you hear? It's going to be something that I believe is going to be set up for, and all will know. And that's why we see Gentiles being sold into our hand, as far as in Joel. And it's not going to be a secret to the Gentiles that we're leaving. It's not going to be a secret to any of our brothers and sisters. We just have to, like you said, just we have to be ready. And honestly, personally, what's so mind-boggling to me, and I appreciate you understanding me, and I heard you say this earlier on Karis's channel earlier this morning, that you get where I'm coming from when I talk about my upbringing. But I'm surprised I'm here. You know what I mean? And so I'm I want to get emotional about, so in a second.
No, I totally understand you.
Express yourself, because I tell Brandy that her experiences are, she is a walking testimony, and, I won't get into much detail until she does, but it's just the fact that we made it this far, all of us, no matter what we're going through, we've made it to this point, and we're about to see the Most High do, work,
Right.
and, it is it's just, like my wife said, a lot of us, we're just thankful to be here, to be alive right now, just surviving, this life here in Babylon, and, it's just remarkable. It's, like I said before, I don't like to repeat myself, but it's one of the most interesting times to be alive.
Yeah.
And see, this is a reason why a lot of times I'll go and tell stories and try and tell people some of the things that I've been through, and use myself as a point of reference as to some of the things I've been through, and because I know that some people out there have actually been through the same thing or similar occurrences, and I knew that it took me till I got in my 40s to let a lot of stuff go. I had a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
And I mean, I never drank, I never smoked, never did drugs. All of my life, I always had somebody pulling the rug out from underneath of me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, always I've been in physical fights. I've had guns put to my head,
Me
and
too.
this is my family.
And me too. And I'm gonna
You
be
know,
straight up. I don't want to, I don't want to scare anybody or have, but as far as,
yeah, it was like, listen, I know you're a sister of the road. I know you. I can look in your eyes, the way you express yourself. I know. I've been there. We both been there. Matter of
yeah,
fact, if I sit down and tell you some stories, you'll be like, "Oh my God, I went through that too." I
straight up.
know.
So, but I don't,
I know.
I don't talk about, things unless I need to, like you said, unless I need to share it with someone. Like if somebody's going through something, I'm like, let me tell you what I've experienced, and let me tell you what, Father you has brought me out of, and let me tell
Right.
you, it's no joke. But when I say, I'm in disbelief that we're in this situation. I'm not in disbelief. I mean, I believe it, but it's just, from what I've been through, I
Mhm.
can't even believe, and I don't say that seriously, like I can't believe, but I can't believe that I'm about to walk into, what we're getting ready to walk into. And so
Right.
my heart's already enlarged. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm already, just taken aback. And so, but I don't know.
It's
I don't
been a
know.
long road.
It's been a long road, but
Mhm.
that the Most High has been there for me, and he's brought me out of things and brought me through things that I didn't think I would survive. And so,
Right.
you know, that's
Right.
why I'm always cheesing. I'm always
Right.
smiling. I'm always, there's things that I wrestle with and I deal with because I've been through a lot. But at the same time, I'm just happy to be here. I tell my
Right.
husband all the time, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to be here. Look,
Right.
my hands are full. We have, like I say, we have 5 children, and I'm homeschooling 3 of them, and there's cleaning to do, and there's cooking, meals 3 times a day, and there's laundry, but everything that I do, I say thank you, Father. I'm here to do it.
Amen.
Thank you that I'm here to do it. Sometimes I get overwhelmed, but I'm like, thank you that I'm here to do it. I'm happy,
Amen.
So,
Hallelujah.
um, but
Hallelujah.
I'm a baby sometimes, y'all. Y'all gotta y'all gotta
That's all
excuse
right.
me.
Ain't no baby.
It's all
No,
right.
listen. It's okay because you got to remember everybody in this walk has gone through some emotional damage, and let me tell you this: when we get to when we get to the wilderness, when we're out on the continent, I definitely want to be with our other Israelite brothers and sisters. I really do,
Yeah,
but we got to be left alone for a minute. We got to decompress as a people because
yeah,
we just can't be a broken people just breaking everybody else down.
yeah.
Right.
That's that we can't do that. And a lot of people don't like it that it's like, look, we have depression issues.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We have issues with loss. Everybody's gone through
Yep.
that. Cause why?
Yeah.
Man, we gone through so much loss. It's like, well, I don't know what a good thing looks like.
Right.
What's a
Yes.
blessing?
Yes.
Right. What
And
is a
that's
what
you
is
said
You
what's a
know what I'm
what
blessing.
is a
saying? What's
blessing?
a
That's
Yeah.
blessing?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Right.
And
And
that's
you don't want to upset or anger the most high, but it's like,
Right.
all right, thanks.
right.
Now
Right.
it's gone. What is that
Right.
for?
Right.
It's to do what? It's to give you a peace and then keep moving. Because why? Because our blessing is not here in Babylon.
Right.
Mm-mm,
Nobody's going to be a millionaire here.
mm-mm.
Hmm.
And not be at peace and left alone. No. You
No. Not
No,
without
I would
sacrifices.
we will not
you know
raise
most of
our
those
sons here.
millionaires, most of those millionaires that look like us took that shot. Because you want to know
Oh
why?
yeah.
Because they wanted to save their kingdom. And
Yep.
now
Oh yeah.
they don't even know what's going on with their hearts.
Nope.
Right.
Now they don't even know if they're going to stroke on out when they're
Right.
walking up the stairs of their nice mansions.
Yep.
Mm.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it, And so we'll
So,
get what the Most High is bringing to us, and it's coming soon. And all praises to the Most High that it is coming soon, But they can have it. Whatever Babylon wants, you can have it. You can have it. You can have
but
it's
but
yours. It's yours.
but
So
but doesn't that bring to it? Doesn't that bring the part? It's like, look, you gain the whole world, but you do what? You lose your soul
mhm,
Yeah.
because these
mhm.
folks really wanted to keep up with the Joneses. They really wanted everything. That's like Then we woke up and said, we're going to inherit the kingdom. We're the people.
Right.
We're going to inherit your riches. See, we didn't even understand how we're going to inherit their riches. We didn't even understand that we're going to take everything because they're doing what? They're dropping like flies left and right.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
And that's scary in itself. That's scary in itself, to see people gone, to see you
To see people driving and they're pulled over in the side of the road laid out. I
yeah,
saw
no.
this yesterday picking my car up from a dealership. And
Wow.
there was a nurse on the scene and the little state trooper, they tried to make it look like it was nothing. I said, this
No.
dude done laid out. At least he
Yep.
died on the side of the road.
Yep.
I said, I was just thinking about that the other day. I said, well, at least he died on the side of the road.
Wow. Yeah, not in the
These
middle of
folks are laying out.
They are, and it's hard for people, and man, it was really hard to try to, to tell people. Like for instance, DJ, he was talking about it to a guy that he worked with, at work, and they was telling him, man, don't take that shot, and the guy thought the guy was on the same wavelength, and he went and took it anyway, and so it's hard to try to get through to somebody, and they just don't hear you, or you look crazy, or when they parrot things from the news. That irks me so much. Like, do not come and have a conversation with me and give me lines from the news. Meaning, like when they were saying,
there's many to pick from.
Safe and effective, or conspiracy. Oh, those are conspiracy theories, or just like literal. They will parrot literal lines. Like, I know you've been watching mainstream news because you literally just parroted a line for me from Fox, Fox 6 a.m. Something like that. Like, it's brain when then
show them a report by like the European Union, the European Parliament, and then it's like, oh, well, I didn't know about that. Well, nobody told me about that. Well, listen. That's just like, and I'm sorry, that's just like smoking crack. Well, they told me it was safe and effective, and my doctor said that everything was good, and you chose to pick up that crack pipe.
Right.
I don't care what the doctor said. You know what I'm saying? That was literally an opioid epidemic.
They trust these
doctors.
You
tell them what happened to opioids. Come on, now.
Yeah, and they're trying to make heroin where you can go to like vending machines and get needles and stuff like that to support your. This is the country that we currently reside in.
So
okay,
why would you line up?
This is the country. Okay,
for anything they have.
No, they're like, here, take this needle and inject yourself with heroin. Okay,
when this got crack vending machines.
Okay, this is the country that we live in.
As long as I can get my Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh, right. Look, right next to it, like, boop, I want that heroin needle, and then I want that Mountain Dew, right in the same, right in the same vending machine.
It goes down better when I got that Code Red.
Right. But this is the country, and so this is the night and day. When you, like I was talking about earlier, you have a country that is preparing their citizens for war, and then you have a country that is trying to prepare their citizens to be transhuman, or trans everything. You know what I mean? Or trans everything.
Right.
Trans animal. Everything. I'm gonna get this. Probably gonna get shut down. I don't know the rules as far as. I don't know the trigger words.
Fair use.
Yeah,
like,
everything.
Play no videos. Don't worry, you're gonna get some. You're gonna be in YouTube jail for a minute.
Right.
Don't worry. We all go to YouTube jail.
I didn't do anything.
You're gonna get shut down for a minute. Don't worry. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
See,
I always say that's when you're doing what you should be doing is when you get shut down.
Right.
Exactly.
I'll see TCA's channel. He got shut down again. Like, oh man, Thoughts Camera Action got shut down again. He must have been doing doing the right thing.
Right.
Oh, Karis in YouTube jail. Oh man,
right.
Tell you Ministries, they in YouTube jail.
Right.
I better pay attention to the backup channel.
Right. Yeah.
Now when the trolls start once you hit that 1,000. Then the trolls start hitting, then it's like, yeah, you're on a level now. You don't made a wave in the Matrix.
Right. They're gonna have to destroy that. Just try.
Pastor Kelly Pastor Kelly. It's like
Pastor
I
Kelly's
just got
another
through.
one.
I'm able to live stream.
Right. And I don't even know what he be doing. Like,
yeah,
what?
I do, and I'm like, oh man, yeah.
he comes, that dude comes out. I saw something last night. And I looked at it. I was like, I gotta watch this because I know they're gonna shut his channel.
Yeah, yep. You better watch it all the way through because you might not be able to see it no more.
And you better download it.
Right. Yeah. That's just the thing,
This thing's about to get shut down.
It definitely wasn't like this back in the day. You could put anything on YouTube or anything. Back in the day, see, I don't know, I don't want to get too much into it. But when I was in the world, okay, and years and years ago, got to put that out there for somebody snipping and be like, long time ago, you can look up anything on YouTube. Like long time ago, like I looked up how to roll a joint on YouTube. So, just long time ago, but you could now, you can't even, they have trigger words and you like shut down your whole stream. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So that's all. A lot of times with our brothers and sisters, or even people in the faith walk, like if you mention your past life or whatever the case, people are like, oh my goodness, like you're a sinner, like good gracious, y'all act like y'all been y'all been saved since birth, so
yeah, it's just
yeah.
I remember the early days of YouTube, like in 2006. Me and one of my friends, we would always watch conspiracy theory videos. Like they're almost marketed like that. It was like the first videos, talking about, world economic powers. If I say the wrong, I don't know what.
Right, I can't even say. You gotta work around it.
Societies.
Right. We know what you're talking about.
Societies, they must be on one today, but it would be a lot more. It would be a lot more available, like different kinds of information, available than there is now. And now you can't even you can't use a word with the that begins with J.
Right.
These days,
Right.
Anything,
shoot, might get shut down for that.
Right. Yep. Shalom, Sister E. Yeah, somebody said that. I think somebody said we sound like cousins.
Yeah.
And I said I didn't know where you were from, so I don't know if it's like I have a country, kind of like a country twang, because I lived in North Carolina for a while. So I don't know if it's the country thing. You know what I mean? So, but shalom to everybody. Shalom to everybody in the chat. If y'all want to come on, this is Freestyle Friday. So this means that we're just getting together and, we throw some topics out, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever you want to talk about, whether, happened this past week, past 2 weeks, so whatever you want to talk about, we're just freely talking. We're freely fellowshipping, which is interesting for me because usually I come on with, a set mind, like, okay, today I need to address this because it's boiling up inside of me. My husband calls it shadow boxing. And I'll be like just walking around, like talking about stuff like, yeah, and another thing. And I just be talking his ear off. And I'm like, it's like I'm fighting, you know what I mean? And he's like, you shadow boxing again, so usually I have things that's boiling up inside of me. And then I get on like, I need to say something. But today we're doing it different. And I'd like to do this every Friday if possible.
Girl Meets Kingdom. Yes, you can come on and ask a question. I believe that link is still posted. Or
is it pinned in the chat? Because I can't.
Yes, it's still pinned in the chat.
I saw this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's open. We're all family. You know what I'm saying? And I like to fellowship with my family. And this is really special to me, because I didn't have extended family. You know what I'm saying? Like I was very secluded because of the situation that I was in with my household and everything. And so we were kept secluded. So we didn't really talk to anyone, any family or anything like that. And so this is special to me. I feel like the Most High has given me family, you know, and as far as like,
Put you in the right space, in the right
yeah,
place at the
yeah,
right time.
right. And just bringing our nation together is special to me on many levels. This means a
Right.
lot to me. So, you know, sister, if you'd like to come in, come on in. And yeah, I'm new to this too. So, but yeah, is there anything particular on anybody's mind that they would like to discuss on your mind? Has
You know, in my line of work, I work around a lot of people, and I listen to a lot of conversations. And you know, I know we've talked about this, but I just find it amazing that more people aren't talking about this. Like some of my coworkers, or maybe one, you know, is actually paying attention to what happens, you know, on a daily basis. But most people are not, and it boggles me, and it just makes me wonder, man, has the modern media slash entertainment done such a number on us? Not us, you know, who are awakened, we're watching these things, but the people who aren't watching these things, how good of a number has been done on them to the point where they aren't alarmed that, you know, a spy balloon from another country somehow infiltrated U.S. airspace. And yes, you know, as mentioned earlier, it wasn't shot down, you know, and you know, I was cracking up, you know, Brother Karras, when he say, you know, the U.S. has absolutely gotten flexed on because you look defenseless. You look defenseless by not defending yourself. You know, who else? I mean, what else? What other conclusion can you draw that if you don't defend yourself, people are going to see you as defenseless? And the thing about it is, I really think that they are. You know, they really are.
well,
you know,
well, like the point that I made. I mean, this hasn't happened yet, but the point I made is that they injected their entire military from, you know, every branch, right? They mandated it and injected, you know, their entire military. So, you know, I guarantee you that there are people dropping behind the scenes, but you bring the fight, you know, to this country, to this nation, and people are going to drop like flies, because when you get that heart rate up, right? That's when you go out. And so we get adrenaline, you know. Sometimes I get adrenaline just getting ready to come on here. You know what I mean? Sometimes
I get adrenaline driving by a police car.
Right. Well,
you know.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so what's going to happen when you're faced with a threat? You understand what I'm saying? They're going to drop. And so they are defenseless. Essentially, they are defenseless. And so,
yeah,
you know, but it's the fact that it was there for days and no one said anything. You know, how did it infiltrate for days and no one even said anything? Or, you know, or we just happened upon this spy balloon in the sky, guys. So, hey, shalom.
Yeah, who's at the watchtower?
I think we do kind of look alike.
Yeah, y'all might be related. Y'all might be related.
Oh my gosh. I had somebody that just called me and say, Sister, that's somebody that favors you online. And I was like, I actually, y'all excuse me, I have been asleep today. So
you look fine. You look fine.
But somebody, Angie Love called me and said, somebody online favors you. And I said, favor me.
You're like, who's that?
Please. So it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sister. Nice to meet you too. That's what's up. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't know if it's now where are you from? Because I feel like you got a little bit of country twang too.
Oh, I'm from Tennessee, Memphis.
Tennessee. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yep, I'm country.
Okay.
I'm country.
Yeah, I'm country too.
I'm real country. How are y'all doing?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Good.
You know, this is something new. You know, I'm super new, so I started out on Facebook just coming on and, you know, sharing something that, you know, was on my heart or on my mind or kind of boiling up in me. And, you know, after that, I said, you know, we're at the end of this thing. And so I felt like, what was the point of even making a YouTube channel? But, you know, if I'm coming on Facebook, you know, constantly, I might as well just, you know, come on YouTube. And so that's my angle. My angle is just talking about and breaking down, you know, well, like we always do, right? We break down what we see happening. We break down how that pertains to prophecy. We break down. We get under the surface and get to the nitty gritty of it. What's really happening? And so that's just
Yeah, I can hear that southern twang too. You from where?
North Carolina.
Yep. I can hear it.
North Kakalaka. So,
but you know what? What's interesting is all the stuff that's. I don't want to switch the subject, so I'm gonna let y'all finish.
No. This is open. This is open. So Fridays we just open it up and we just fellowshipping it. So whatever's on your mind, we're talking about tonight. So
did y'all see about the balloon?
Absolutely. And so that's what we're talking about. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, what do you think about that, Sister?
I think it's kind of. Can I be honest? I think we are going to war. I think eventually it's going to get to that point because there's a problem right now between the U.S., China, and Taiwan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it China or is it Japan? It's China and Taiwan.
China
and they're going to consistently fight over this, and they're not finna step down from it. And I think Taiwan is one of their major ports when it comes to what are they utilizing Taiwan for? Curious of one of y'all, I can't remember. But
it's silicone.
I think it's silicone.
Silicone.
It's yes.
They use it for computer chips.
Oh, computer chips. Okay, right. Computer silicone.
Yeah. So I don't think they're gonna. I'm sorry, my daughter got to walk around. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna stand down. I don't think they're gonna stand down from this. And if they're consistently fighting over Taiwan, it's gonna lead to something. Another thing, I think U.S. is trying to flex their muscles right now. Because you got to look at it. These past couple of wars that they've had has not been successful. So they got to flex eventually. And I think that's going to transpire because especially if China and Russia align like we see, I got a feeling. I think this is a sign. And when I saw it last night around 12 o'clock. I was up at 12 o'clock and I saw it pop up on the news and I said, yeah, if CNN covering this is real. This is for real.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder how we were talking about how it seems like nobody's alarmed. Like it should be people running out in the streets like, yo, what's going on? Yeah. Like, are you serious?
Like we're in danger.
Right. We're in danger. But everybody's just like, oh, just, live your life, because I think that there is and I couldn't figure out this word earlier. And I was trying to ask you what it was, Karis. Like, give me the word. But it's just like a blindness or like a cognitive dissonance. There we go.
Yeah, I put in the chat.
When you see the U.S. surrounded and you go, well, maybe they won't come in, or maybe they won't, shoot at us, or maybe it's like, when are we going to snap into reality and say, okay, we have a problem, or rather they have a problem, So I think that my position is, I think that the U.S. wants this place to get blown up, and that's for real, because when you don't prepare your citizens for what's blatantly out there, it's like you want it. When you, like you mentioned Taiwan, when you go and you send people, and I stated this before, you send people to Taiwan, when they said, don't send them over here. And they're like, anyway, okay, and then you send weapons to Russia. Russia's like, keep doing that, don't send them and weapons. I'm gonna jack you up. North Korea, and South Korea, they're got their arm around South Korea. North Korea's like, you better back up. It's like I believe that they want this place to get blown up, to take us down with the ship. I feel like they're done with this place. They washed their hands of this place, and they're ready to set their beast kingdom up, their headquarters up somewhere else. And so that's my.
They already let us know what they think of the population. They already let us know what they think of the population by administering and distributing.
Absolutely, they're just
lethal stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't
and lying about it. Even at the gas pump, as you're pumping your gas, you see a reminder to go get this thing. At your nearest grocery store or pharmacy. And it's that in itself is scary. It's scary than a mug. It's scary because it's a you can check out from this stuff like in forever, and it's widely distributed as something that's going to help you. And, that's so with that in mind, why would they care about preparing the population,
Yeah. Yeah.
for anything?
They're passing out Kool-Aid right now. Like, here, drink this.
Yeah, drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah,
I think ultimately also their arrogance has gotten beside them.
Okay.
So arrogant, and they think that they're beyond any type of rebuke or anything.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, the arrogance is real, and the biggest thing is right now what they're hiding. The economy is at. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. The economy is at the brinks of just. It's just it's almost it's about to spill over. When you look at the rules of economics, you got a situation right now where consistent inflation is going on.
Yep.
With that, you got the Federal Reserve consistently raising these interest rates, and it's like they're trying to compete with each other, and they don't care ultimately how it's impacting the masses, because it's directly impacting the masses as they increase interest rates and inflation to compete. Ultimately, these companies are laying people off because they don't have enough. How could I say? They are trying to liquidate their assets because it costs so much money to borrow. Now, the cost to borrow money now is almost like the interest rate is ridiculous. So ultimately, it's like they're boiling over. And then you got it's just so much going on to the point that I think the masses is not paying attention to that, because the masses is too busy trying to pay attention to the fact of constant layoffs. These companies are consistently laying people off. There's so many other distractions. You got the cost of money is just ridiculous now. To just the interest rate, that means our dollar is depreciating.
Yep.
To borrow now, it almost you might as well just buy it cash. Then, not to mention, you fighting with the banks because of the interest rate. Then you're fighting with these companies purchasing items, and they're constantly raising their prices. Not to mention, these companies are not raising salaries and income. So the income is not matching the inflation. So right now, just being able to sustain yourself in this economy, you don't have time to pay attention to what's going on with China and Russia, because you're just trying to make sure that you can keep your job. I got so many friends right now that have been laid off. A lot of friends. They're not laid off just laid off. They're laid off in one particular arena that the world has always told us that's stable.
Right. There you go. And there you go. And how much longer can we survive like this? And that's the point. We're at a point where I feel like this judgment isn't for the children of Yasharal. It's not for us. So if we see everything that you just stated, and it's that heavy, that it's that hard to maintain from a day-to-day basis and a month-to-month basis, how much longer until we're rescued? Because we don't have we as a people collectively can't survive in a place like this with in the state that it's in. But I just want to say shalom to how do you say your name? Crystal Girl meets Kingdom.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Shalom, sister. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you all?
We're doing good. Doing good. Happy to be with y'all.
Thank you.
So what's on your mind, sister? What did you want to talk about? Okay. You said you want to ask a question, right?
Yeah. So, like I said, I have only been awakened to this information about, us being the true people of the book since probably October.
Okay.
And so now when I read the word, it's just different.
Yep.
I can actually understand, like in the past, I tried to read Isaiah. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This stuff has already passed. How is this relevant? And now I read it and I'm thinking, oh, wait, so this is what's going to happen. And so it's just so good that I am now, privy to this information, and I'm trying to share it with as many people as possible. And so I was just reading the book of Daniel, and I'm trying to understand. I can't remember which chapter. I think it's probably, 1911. This covenant that Israel is going to make with the Antichrist. So the Antichrist. Now, in the past, I thought, Israel for the people we see in the media. But now that I know who the true Israel is, I'm just trying to figure out, how is this going to take place? When is this going to take place? Is this going to take place sometime after we go back to the land? I'm just really puzzled when I read the book of Daniel about the future prophecy.
Well,
So
well,
just any insight?
we were just reading Daniel. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were just in Daniel, talking to Brother Jacoba about that, trying to figure some things out ourselves. So, you know, before you were awakened, were you in like a certain denomination or anything to come to that conclusion? Or because a lot of the eschatology and the prophecy, that we learned through them, it was twisted and turned, and they just tried to kind of figure it out and make it work. Like they try to make sense of it themselves and then try to spit it to us. You know what I mean? And so
Exactly. Yes.
as far as I've read, as far as what's going to happen prophetically with Israel, we're not here for the Antichrist or anything like that. We're in the wilderness, and then we're in our land. We have the Antichrist, this captivity that's approaching, because that's what it is. It is for the nations that enslaved the Most High's children. You understand what I'm saying? So
yes.
If you could tell me where you're reading. I am not a teacher, and I say that all the time. I'm just a sister that the Most High is awakened, and I'm on the same path as you. I've been able to open the scriptures and see them in a way that I couldn't see them before. Like I would try to read Isaiah and Jeremiah, and it got to the point where I would just read it just to say I read it,
Yes.
but just like, well, I read it.
The only book left. Let me go ahead.
Right, but not understanding it. And so, like you said, coming to the knowledge of who we are, now we can, read it and go, oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't believe that of course we're not gonna have any dealings with the Antichrist as Yasharel. So that's why I was asking you if it was something that you kind of brought over from what you learned through the.
I will, and I can go on mute and I will find it. It's in the book of Daniel, and
it wouldn't happen to be Daniel chapter 12, would it?
Let me.
I don't think so. And why are you looking for that?
She's talking about Daniel chapter 11.
Daniel 11. Okay.
That's what she's talking about. Yeah, it's Daniel chapter 11, because that's what she said. So when you actually understand that we're the people, then you understand who Kedem is. Do you understand?
Right.
You understand who the Grecians are. You understand then what it was that they were doing in terms of their interactions with each other to do what? To subdue us. Okay, and so I think I know where you're at in terms of Daniel 11:38. Okay, so with this, but in his estate shall he honor the God of forces, and a God, lowercase g, whom his fathers knew not, shall he honor with gold and silver, and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds, which a strange God or strange Elohim, whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for gain. So what are we doing? This is actually, if you're actually looking at this is actually what you're seeing is really the I'm not going to say the church, but it's the Eurocentric church that you have, because there was a Christ, that's Yahushua HaMashiach, and then there was their Christ, which is Caesar Borgia. Okay, so in order to get this, I always like to start at the top, right? So we could get the context of what Daniel was looking at. So this is Daniel 11:1. Also, I, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood to confirm and to strengthen him. And now I'll show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up against all the realm of Grecia. So Greece. So he went after the Greeks. This is what we saw with Alexander and things of that nature. So he's literally showing you Alexander, because here's the thing: Babylon never went away. All Babylon did was just get transformed. And this is where we get when, a lot of our people start to come into the truth. They think that Babylon, well, there's no more Babylon. Yes, there is. Babylon's always been here. They've always shown you who Babylon was. But we
Right.
didn't understand it because we didn't understand who the Greeks were. We didn't even understand who Edom was. I mean, there's a lot of things that we were still perplexed about, because nobody's going to tell you who your enemy is. Your enemy is not going to tell you who they are. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, they've been
So
hiding for a long time.
they did a good job. Now 400 years is here, and now the Most High's grace woke us on up, and now we can kind of break these things down. So let me continue. Daniel 11:3, and a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. And when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken and shall be divided toward the four winds of heaven, which is what we saw. That was the generals, right? You had Ptolemaic, which was basically Egypt, and all those places for the provinces of Phoenicia and stuff like that, which went down into Africa, because that's where you had with excuse me, where your Roman cohorts had basically gone to with the other kingdoms. So let me continue this. And shall be divided toward the four winds of heaven, and not to his posterity. So it didn't go to any of his children. So that's Alexander. So Alexander was talked about
Alexander.
a couple
Yep,
hundred years.
absolutely. We went to his
Nor
generals.
according to his dominion which he ruled, for his kingdom shall be plucked up, even for others besides those. And the king of the south shall be strong. So he's talking about Ptolemy. And one of his princes shall be strong above him and have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. And in the end of years they shall join themselves together, for the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. So this is where you're starting to see a lot of how these folks intermix, because you can look at Daniel, but this is why we look at Jasher. This is why we look at Jubilees. This is why we look at Enoch, because there's a little bit more context in terms of what the children of Japheth were doing. So we have our story, and Japheth was having their stories of how they were going to the split of Gog and Magog. This is the split that we're seeing right now. Is Gog versus Magog, right? So when we're out of the land, there's no more Gog versus Gog and Magog, because why? Because they destroyed each other.
Yep.
So now it's just then the forces of the Gentiles. It's just the children of basically Japheth, right? So that's who we fight off when we're back in our land of unwalled villages. When you look at Reparations chapters 18 and 19. So so let me continue this. For the kings of the south shall come to the king of the north, make an agreement. So this is what they did, basically Rome and Egypt, and not just Rome and Egypt. This is all those folks. This had a greater context than Rome and Egypt. This was actually your North African areas. Okay, what we consider North African, because those are your Algeria, Tunisia, Libya,
right,
and even Egypt. And Egypt was still always the economic powerhouse, because of their water access into Egypt. Okay, and Egypt's water access into where? Into Central Africa, where you still have the white and the blue Niles that still are major critical waterways that they fight over to this very day. Ethiopia and Egypt are fighting over that, using the Tigray as a proxy. So let me continue this. So neither shall he stand, or wait a second, but she shall not retain the power of the arm, which was basically Egypt, shall not retain her power, and neither shall he stand nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that bought her, and he that begat her, and that strengthened her in these times. But out of a branch of her roots shall one stand up in his estate, which shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail, and shall also carry captives into Egypt with their gods. Okay. These were also a lot of the wars that were taking place outside of us going into captivity. Other nations were going into captivity.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
because
Yep.
still
Yep.
we were just still on out there. Okay, we were still we were still just kind of moving and shaking. We weren't a people, right? We were
Right.
still a people. We still knew who we were, but we weren't really much of a people. And see, with their gods, so you have to understand, Egypt and bondage were the same thing. Rome was still considered what? Egypt. Because Rome was still what? Bondage. Rome was taking slaves. Rome was
Mm.
taking captives. And with their precious vessels of silver and gold, and he shall continue more years in the king of the north, and the king of the south shall come into his kingdom, and shall return into his own land. But his son shall be stirred up, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, and one shall certainly come and overflow and pass through. Then shall he return and be stirred up, even to his fortress. And the king of the south shall be moved with choler, or basically be greatly heated, and shall come forth and fight with him, even with the king of the north. And he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand, and he hath taken away from the multitude. His heart shall be lifted up, and he shall be cast down, many 10,000, but he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the north shall return, and shall set forth a great multitude, greater than the former, and shall certainly come after certain years with a great army and with much resources. So here's a lot of the context that's happening. You literally have Gog and Magog really fighting each other, because Russia, China, the Central Asian states, they were always fighting each other. But the king of the south was always doing what? Taking captives. And we see this. Why do you think Rome, Egypt, Babylon, right, is in this place? Because it's mystery Babylon. It's always been the culmination of the ages right here. And so now, when they've been fighting each other, this is a war that they never wanted to fight. They never wanted to fight the king, the king of the north, right? Because this is what? This is the end of our captivity right here. And let me go on, because it becomes pretty wordy on this. All right, and he shall set forth a great multitude, but the multitude shall be given into his hand. And when he hath taken away the multitude, his heart shall be lifted up, and he shall cast down many 10,000s, basically a great number, but he shall not be strengthened by it. For the king of the south shall return, and shall set forth a great, or a multitude greater than the former. He shall certainly come, and after certain years, with a great army and much riches. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. So the king of the north shall come up and cast up a mount and take the most fenced cities, and the arms of the south shall not withstand it, neither his chosen people. Why? Because that principality is not able to stand up to the principality of the king of the north. But he that cometh against him shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land which by his hand shall be consumed. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do. And he shall stand on his side, neither be for him. After this shall he turn his face into the isles, and shall take many, but a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach, he shall cause it to turn upon him. And I believe this right here, in this particular section, this is really Bible prophecy being fulfilled after we're back in our land. And I'm going to show you this in Daniel chapter 12, because these scriptures aren't exclusive to each other. Okay, Daniel 11 and 20. Then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom, but within a few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdoms by his flatteries. And with the arms of a flood shall be overthrown before him. A lot of people say that that's
That's the
Rome. That a
Antichrist,
lot of
but that,
stuff
yeah, it's not.
yeah, a lot of yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
not. That's what we're
the
taught.
fullness of the the
Right.
fullness of the Antichrist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let me read this. And after that, and okay, no, I'm skipping.
You're at 23. Or
No,
you're,
22.
oh no, you're at 22. Yeah.
Yeah, and with the arms of a flood shall be overthrown. They a flood shall they be overflown, excuse me, before him, and shall be broken. Yea, also the prince of the covenant. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with the small people. He shall enter peaceably, even upon the fattest places of the province, and he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall scatter among them the prey and spoil and riches, and he shall forecast his devices against the strongholds, even for a time, and he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army, and the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not stand, for they shall forecast devices against him. So this is all just
Yeah. Yeah.
turmoil.
Yeah.
Yea,
They're
that
all one. Yeah.
yea, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall down slain. And both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief, and they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the appointed time. Then shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant, and he shall do exploits and return to his own land. So everybody, for the most part, they done took a break fighting each other because
Yep.
why?
Yep.
Well, let's just go ahead for these people. I think that, to be honest, this is when you start to see the introduction of the transatlantic slave trade. Because why? Because if you look at the history of Europe, Europe has always been fighting with each other up until
Mm-hmm.
when? Believe it or
Till they
not, up
start
until
fighting with us,
around
or it
1452.
started. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And here it is. Here's a reason. At that point in time, he shall return and come forth toward the south, but it shall not be as a former, as a latter. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, for he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do, and he shall ever return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. So basically, this is now talking about basically our people that have been in league with, the children of Kittim, children of the
Mm-hmm.
south,
Yep. Yep.
and then they got cast out. That's when we went back into the land, or we ran back. If you haven't read or seen anything by Benayat Israel, please go ahead watch that. Please go ahead watch Reclaiming the Throne, and it shows you, kind of where we were at. We were a power, but we weren't really involved in any of the wars that these Gentiles had, because we were just kind of just off off to our
Stumbling
own
around.
lonesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, which is Rome, which is a pope. Because why? Because they went after us and they scattered us. So there was really no remnant after that, because that's really the introduction of the transatlantic slave trade, which is really what precipitated after the Spanish Inquisition, right? And what did they do? Well, now nobody, you don't even hear nor hide nor hair of the real Sabbath, because right, it's just Sunday and everything from the Pope, everything from
Mm-hmm.
that southern kingdom, right? Because they've exploited the riches and the wealth of who? The people of Yasharal.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. And they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries with the people that do know their Elohim shall be strong, and do exploits, and they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame and by captivity and by spoil many days. Because why? Because that was us still keeping the Sabbath. That was us still keeping the covenant. That was us still keeping the laws. So the law, statutes, and commandments. And then what did we do? By captivity. Well, then we got cut off. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be hoping with a little help. So we were helped with a little help, but we were still just a remnant of the people. We were still just a shadow of who we were. Okay, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries, and some of them of understanding shall fall to try them and to purge them and to make them white, even to the end, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for an appointed time. So they wanted to be, sanctified, right, and holy per the Roman Catholic Church. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, every Elohim, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of God. So why? Because we were in captivity. We couldn't say anything. We had no power in our hands, right? We had no might.
Yeah.
So, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the Elohim of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any lowercase g God, Elohim, for he shall magnify himself above all. Because what did they do? What is Rome? What's the estate of Rome? And I would suggest you listen to Pastor Kelly. He explains it wonderfully, how basically syncreticism, even Truth
Yes.
Unedited,
Yeah.
brought that on out a couple weeks ago. So you understand syncreticism, right? And
Yeah.
if you notice, the only
It's
people that don't want to have any type of marriages or marriage covenants is found within the Roman Catholic Church. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Well, that reminds me of the scripture that talks about in the last days, people will forbid to marry, right? And to eat meats that I gotta find that scripture, but when I would hear that scripture about forbidding to marry, the only people that I could obviously think of is the Catholic Church, right? Because that's what they do. You take oaths to not marry, and then you do other things. These sick folk.
well, yeah.
But yeah. So basically, what the Eurocentric church did was what they always do is they took scriptures they didn't understand, and then they tried to make it all about the Antichrist and about the end times and so on and so forth. But they could never really they try to make it and try to it's like jamming a puzzle piece in a puzzle and it doesn't fit. So coming out, being new to the awakening. I mean, because we woke up in 2019. So we have to go back and read the things that they taught us and go, okay, what does it really say? And in light of what we know, okay, we know we're the people and we know what has happened to us through history. When you research, you're like, okay, where does this fit in? Is this really what they're trying to make it out to be? And it obviously is not, because they're missing the most important piece of the puzzle, which is our identity. So yeah, I appreciate you breaking that down, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we have no dealings with the Antichrist. Like, this literally is. There's so many scriptures. If you read Jeremiah 30, if you read Ezekiel 36 through 38, 39, if you read Joel, if you read, you see that the Most High, the story that he's putting out is that he sent us into captivity, of course, and that he's going to gather us. And when he gathers us, then he puts our enemies into captivity and he judges them for what they did to our people. And, while we're dwelling in peace and while we have cattle and goods and while he does us better than our fathers, our forefathers and so on and so forth, we are going to experience a different life while he deals with the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So us and the Antichrist, no dealings. But
That's good to know.
yeah. But how do you there was a brother on. I'm so sorry we didn't get to him. I'm sorry, brother.
He ended up dropping off.
I'm sorry, brother. I apologize.
Trying to get it.
You know, and that's the line that we are always fed in the Eurocentric thought process of, well, we're going to be here to deal with the Antichrist, and it's like, no, we're not.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
That was
If
the whole
you read
narrative.
the word, we're back in our land of our forefathers.
Right, and that's what I
And
know.
what? In peace and safety. There's no in unwalled villages. You notice that the prophets had to say some different things, because when you look at that dust land, which isn't, it's just Asia Minor. It's not. That's not even the land. That's literally just Asia Minor.
Mm-hmm.
And what do? It's nothing lush or even plentiful that you would have there in the continent, in the land, in the continent. And it could be so much better than what it is right now. And the reason that it's not the way it is because you literally have the children of Japheth telling them to don't do what we want you to do, or don't do what you want to do with the land. Have it bare, have it stripped, and guess what they're doing? They're doing that because they don't know any better, and because they've been completely destroyed as we've been completely destroyed, and they're sitting on resources, and it's like, well, we can't do anything with the resources because why? Because we want to get a case of water.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. You're 100% right on that.
But see, the problem that they're encountering at this very day is the other nations want us back. Those countries want us back. Because why? Because once we get back, well, we're going to have these black folks. And I know if we have these black folks standing up for us, which is Judah, if they're standing up for us, and guess what? They're never going to come back. They're never going to come back because you have to understand, those are the two sticks coming together. It's the two sticks. See, they were on the borders of the land, but they weren't able to do anything. It's just like you're in the street. Because why? Because you can't farm the land because you're not allowed to, because they done moved into your house. They done moved into your property. So what are you going to get thrown to? Into the alley. You can't do much in the alley. You can't do much in the streets.
Yeah, but we about to claim that house back. We about to get that house back. So
yeah, we're about to get that wealth back. And these folks, they're digging up stuff all the time. They're digging up vibranium and all sorts of comic book materials. All
like common things.
What's that stuff that
common things? That's
Wolverine is adamantium. They get adamantium.
You didn't know what that is.
You see what I'm saying? These folks are putting 220 watts, AC/DC on a rock to get a light shining on a rock.
Well, you know what I look
coming out of thin air.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's gonna be amazing to come together as a whole family and to have those things as common, because not only are the forces of the Gentiles going to be brought to us and so on and so forth, but we're literally, we will literally be on the land of riches, you know what I mean? And so we will be able to be a powerful nation, first in spirit, and then resources. So I definitely look forward to that. So hopefully, sister, your question was able to be answered.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And it definitely came from theologians.
Oh yeah.
Church, I thought we were getting raptured, but now I'm thinking, me going back to the land.
Me too.
Right.
Did anybody else go through that rapture situation?
I'm trying to see, am I pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib?
Right. Trying to figure it out. Right.
Yeah, trying to figure it out. So I appreciate it.
You don't know what to do with that bumper sticker anymore, do you?
Look, you just got to save it as a souvenir. You got to save it as a souvenir. Like, I remember when I used to believe.
And it's just interesting that the theologians in the seminaries passed off our historical context as something that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's witchcraft.
You're trying to figure it. It's witchcraft because there are people that know and knew who we are. If you think about it, they're teaching the same things in these seminaries. Some people got together and said, "Okay, this is what we're going to teach the pastors and the preachers, and this is what you're going to give to the people."
I bet that's what they were talking about during the Council of Nicaea. How they take these people, and then they was going to erase the entire meaning of the Bible, and But I could be wrong about that. But it's amazing.
But you got to realize
they stuck with the game plan, and you have to understand. Look, the Gentiles stick together. They were thicker than thieves, right? They were keeping everything together, really very well, right? I mean, they were serving their principality better than we were serving ours. And guess what happened?
Yeah.
Man, that's something.
That's crazy.
That is something.
What were you
saying? Their devotion to their principality. That even shows you they're serving a different Elohim.
Right?
Yeah.
They were serving a different
Elohim. And they're proud about it. They're proud about it too. They'll tell you straight up if you listen.
But you gotta realize.
What were you gonna say, G? I'm sorry.
You got to realize the doctrine and the teaching, the doctrines that they follow now, far as a lot of the theologians and the school of thought when it comes to the faith was taught from them coming out of slavery. When they originally became pastors and teachers coming out of slavery, or while they were in slavery, a lot of the slave masters sat and listened to their sermons. So the school now, I hate to say it, we have to unlearn what the slave master has taught us when it comes to the word of God and how we see eschatology. When you look at eschatology from the mindset of colonialism, there is no 1,000-year reign. They've taken that out. There's an escape plan, even though they have pillaged and raped and did all types of stuff. They feel like they're still going to get an escape because under the blood of Jesus, they're forgiven for their sins. But guys, you have to reap from what you have done.
No, they don't realize that.
That's why they need that escape plan. The lack of accountability for what you've done. This is blood money. The word of God says this. The word of God says this, that when a man steals another man,
right,
the repercussions of that particular crime is death.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
Correct.
But not for them though. Not for them though. Right. You do what you want to. You can afflict, you can persecute, you can discriminate against, you can sit in your churches and be racist or whatever toward the children of Yasharal, but don't worry, you'll be out of here soon.
Family, can I add something real quick?
Yes.
I have a Gentile friend, and actually she called me the other day. But before she called me, I got to call her back. But when the subject of... Oh, shalom, everybody. I'm sorry.
Shalom.
But when the subject of racism and this, that, and third came up, she said to me, she said that she felt extremely bad about it. She said it sucked, but she didn't realize what the scripture says. When you mess over someone, you're supposed to spiritually and physically repair what you've done. And she didn't grasp that Black people are owed reparations. She just felt bad about it. And that's like either it's that strong delusion the Most High talks about, or something. She could only get to, it is a terrible thing. It shouldn't happen. I'm really sorry what people have done to Black people. And that's how they really don't see the importance of reparations. They really don't.
No, they think of it as a handout, but they don't see it as a, like you stated, a repairing. And they don't, we have 2 children that are taking piano lessons, and their piano teacher is a Gentile and Christian woman, and I remember her standing in my kitchen, okay, And were you around when she said this?
I wasn't.
Okay, she stood in my kitchen, and she I don't know how it came up, but the talk of slavery came up, and she told me that she said, "I'm removed." Okay, because in her mind, she said, "Well, I don't know if any of my people, owned any slaves or this, that, and the other." And so, that's their mentality is they're removed. They don't owe you anything. They don't owe you a sorry and nothing. They don't. There's no repairing to be done. You're in the state that you're in because that's just the state you're in.
It's awesome, but I guess I'm just going by the one, well, not the one, but the Gentile that she felt bad about it, like
right.
It's so I don't know.
It's difficult. You can't. They won't know the seriousness of this until we're born as a nation, and then they're terrified and they go, "Oh, now we see," because they you have Gentile friends that care about you, but they still see us in a certain light. You know what I mean? And so they don't understand how important we are. First of all, as people, but how important we are to the Most High. And so until they see the magnitude of that importance, they're not going to really feel like they need to do something
until they understand the implications of the American Negro being Hebrews. Until they understand the implications of us being Judah and undergoing the most sickening things that you can conceive on the behalf of these nations, until they understand how severe the punishment was to us, how the Most High punished us, they won't necessarily understand that even though we didn't, or our grandparents or great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents, they didn't sin against the Most High the way that our ancestors did back then by serving other gods, little g. They're not going to understand how the Most High deals with people. It's on a national level.
Yeah, he deals with
on a
nation.
National. He deals with nations.
And you don't escape that. There is no pre-trib. Oh, some of you escape because you're under the blood. No, you have soul salvation. Okay. Yeah. As they were saying, you are judged as a nation. So, there are plenty of our people that went into captivity that were serving the Most High. Plenty of the prophets, plenty of the people that were serving the Most High and still got taken with the rest of our people, because he judges. So, but Stacey Ann, I finally got to add you in. For some reason, they're only letting 6 people in. I think I got to upgrade, y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. All right. I'm like, what's going on? But
Sister Ann, how you doing? Stacey Ann, sorry.
I'm okay. I'm just listening, and I'm thinking that in terms of the people accepting their responsibility, sharing the responsibility of their ancestors, the point that you're making, that until they understand the implications of who we are, they won't come to terms with their shared responsibility or duty to repair the damage that was done. You see, that might also reinforce their belief that they are, as you said, the lady says she's removed, in that when they come to see that it's because of our actions why we ended up into captivity in the first place.
Right.
And then they were playing a part in the punishment. And that is after, I guess, the people who are being the imposters are removed, because that's another barrier to comprehending too, that we are actually the people, because somebody else is being promoted as the people. So every time they read scripture, they will actually attribute it to them and not us. So until they are fully knowledgeable about the truth, they are going to continue to take that stand. So I just wanted to add to that too, that might also contribute to them being persuaded to not believe that they need to apologize
Mm-hmm.
after being exposed to some of the truth.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you, sister. I agree with you.
Right.
Too, as well, you got to look at the fact too. The biggest fear is this: when you look at the other people, and I say it like that.
Thank you.
There's no accountability for the other side saying, "Well, we never put those people in captivity. We never did anything to those people. We never did." It's easy to see them rather than the ones that blood is on your hands. To say, hold on. I tell people this, and I said this in the original when I woke up in 2000. I want to say 2015.
Okay.
So I've been in it for what, almost 8 years now. Their biggest fear is if they wake up and realize, wait a minute, our ancestors had something to do with putting the Most High's children into captivity. Those Bible scriptures are speaking of my ancestors that are going to have to reap from what they're done and what we're going to have to reap. Because again, like you said something that was profound, that God deals with nations and not also with the individual. So if that's the case, if he was just dealing with the individual like they like to make us think, then why all the way back to the ancestors that had nothing to do with the killing of the prophets?
There you go.
Right.
Killing of the prophets that Christ talked about, that everybody talked about. You killed the prophets. When Christ was being crucified, what did your ancestors say? Give us Barabbas.
Yep.
This was thousands of years later when those people were held accountable. So if he waits and holds his hands, and he didn't totally, because he had already started it. He started it with, I want to say 70 AD when they originally
sure did.
Fire.
Sure did.
But he does not deal with an individual in most cases. He deals with nations.
Absolutely.
To be held accountable. And see, the thing is, that's the mindset of a colonial teaching that, oh no, God forgets. God doesn't forget. I love the what is it? I talk about her all the time and I just can't remember her name. And she talked about the president, said that one of the dead presidents, and I want to say Thomas Jefferson said, and I gotta go find it because I did a show on this about 2 years ago. They said, look at what his people did. God doesn't forget, and when he remembers what they done.
I remember that. I remember that quote.
I think it was Abraham Lincoln.
He said he trembles for this.
Or Andrew Jackson, or one
that was Thomas Jefferson.
I can't remember who, but I remember the quote.
I do remember that one.
Who was it?
Yeah, that was a quote by Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. Yep.
So he already foresaw what they had done and really spoke. It was like he really spoke like the prophets spoke. The prophets were warning them that y'all doing wrong, and our ancestors didn't listen. That's the same thing Thomas Jefferson.
He said he fears that the Most High is just.
Yes.
He fears the justice along the lines of that. He feared the justness of God.
Yeah, and he is, and the thing is that these nations believe that when you say they believe that the Most High will forget, well, they believe that we are less than. So what they do to us, no one has been done to us, it doesn't matter because we're less than anyway. He's not looking at us, and the Most High doesn't feel sorry for us, and so on and so forth. But they will definitely find out soon enough. See a couple more balloons up in the sky.
I would say those who would say that are those who don't know the truth. But like Thomas Jefferson, as you're alluding to, he's one of those who knew the truth.
Yep.
Because they have those that they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
They know everything. Yep. And so when I started to learn that, I learned and started to believe that we are the people, because I'm in Jamaica, right? So this is not popular here. So when I learned it was being exposed to that on a religious show that was on television by the Purple Group. And so they were here in Jamaica and they were preaching that we are the people, because they mentioned about Egypt not being the physical Egypt as it being the captivity. We're not popular here at all because nobody has ever mentioned prior that the people who who came into captivity in the Caribbean, in North America, and all the other places, we are actually the people being talked about in the Bible. And so I got saved because I believe all of us got saved in Christianity. But then as we come to learn and we are filled with the Holy Ghost, He is who leads us to want to learn more. And then we become awake and we start to do more. And then what I say, but it can't just be so where people just don't like us because of our color. It has to be more than that. And I said, they know something where we don't know. They know something that we don't know. So when these people started to talk to me, say, okay. And moving forward now, and I'm learning more. When 2020 came about, and Mr. BG himself in his glasses talking about, oh, and his wife was saying, oh, how is Africa gonna make it? And we got to think about the African Americans, and we want to put them first in line because we are so at risk. And I say, the people here, they know the truth. Their intention is to destroy us. They're trying to get rid of as many of us before we know who we are. And so because so many of us still don't know and still did not know at that time, they were pushing so much to destroy us. And that reaffirmed even more, and I started to pray more, and God started to draw me nearer, closer to Him, and I started to worship more when we were in isolation, working online and so on. And I asked Him about the thing that they were offering as a solution. And I said, God, I know you will tell me. And He told me plain and straight, it is not good. It'll go in your heart. And I went to my church and I tell them, but at that time my pastor was promoting it. And one day I was in church and I was wrestling a man, and I said, God, I was talking to him. I said, no, me alone, I go, it's me and you. Because he was telling me, go and tell them. But in church and you're being told, and you're just afraid that these people are going to be looking at me in a particular manner because what I am going to say is not popular. Right. Because everywhere you listen, there was a gospel station I used to listen to, and I had to stop listening because actually every 5 minutes they are telling you where to go. And I said, no, so I'm tired of this, we can't bother. I turn off my radio. I stop listening to radio. I stop watch TV. This is where I come and I read and I read and I read. And I'm saying, no, man, these people, it is all about us. And then I realize, even broader than us, it's the destruction of souls. Absolutely. Not wanting people to be around long enough to have the revelation of Jesus Christ and come into the truth and to learn and actually worship and have their soul saved. So the devil himself is orchestrating this to destroy as many as he can. But we just have to go and give thanks for him, Yes, because he's bringing us together to reinforce, to teach, to just shore up and to just go and walk with the support. Though we might be across the seas from each other, we still are being able to come together to help each other on the walk, open our minds. No, we are not conspiracy theorists, filled with the Holy Spirit, know the truth, and are walking in the light. So I'm just glad, for all these different ways that we can get to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We are too.
And that's the thing, a lot of people, didn't pray first. A lot of, Christians or believers, they didn't pray about it. They just assume they treat the government like they are Yahuwah, and so they trust, whatever they give to them or whatever they feed them, so, I'm glad that you prayed about it, because the Most High will speak. When you need to know something, He will speak. He won't speak all the time, audibly and so on and so forth. But when it's very important, He will give you that message quick, So I know Pastor Kelly is getting ready to come on, so I don't want to, impede on his time. But Brother Dave, I know you haven't gotten to get a word in a little bit. Is there anything you would like to say before we wrap it up?
I'm good. I'm not good. I'm just enjoying, the conversation. and stuff in my face, eating stuff I
Oh, you
wouldn't
are
supposed to be
okay.
eating. So I'm cool now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just enjoying listening to the conversation, and God bless you, and I hope that you your channel goes well.
I
And
appreciate
hello, Sister E. I ain't talking to you in a little bit,
it.
but
I know
I'm just happy. Listen, I'll be sitting off on the side, just praying and just waiting to see what tomorrow brings.
Right.
Right.
I appreciate you,
Right.
brother David. God bless you too. Yahuwah
Thank you,
bless
brother
you.
David.
Yahuwah
Thank
bless
you.
you too. And yeah, y'all, we might be emergency tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
but I appreciate you coming on, and y'all Fridays we doing this. So
Okay,
come
that's what's up.
and we'll just kick it. We just open the floor and kick it. But
We used to do this on Sister E's channel.
oh, okay, really,
Hey,
why
hey,
not?
hey, don't do that now.
He calling you out. But
I'm honestly, I'm happy Sister E came on in here.
yeah,
You
me
know,
too,
Yeah,
me
me
she
too.
too.
she
It's a,
wasn't she
it's a
wasn't
blessing.
talking about them other folks that gets on
I
her
know.
nerves. You know, and,
Right.
Right,
No,
right.
no. We gonna talk. We gonna
and
bring it in with the family.
Right,
We
it's a
gonna
blessing
bring it
though. Sister
in.
E, I really do appreciate you coming and join.
Yeah.
I was not expecting you to pop up. I appreciate it. It's been awesome.
And Sister, I listened to you, and to Karis, and to Yakoba, and to Pastor
You got to
Kelly,
go down the list.
TCA. Man, all these channels, and it's actually crazy that we're chatting right now. I don't know.
Yeah, because
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to unite
yeah,
with
absolutely.
like-minded people, and I definitely appreciate you coming on. Definitely.
Yeah,
No, we're family. More than welcome. We're family, and we got to stick together, especially in these days. I actually enjoyed it. I've been kind of out of it. I'm gonna disclose something on y'all's channel. I'm going through a layoff myself right now. So I've been
I'm
kind
sorry.
of taking a little break. Oh, I'm good. They gave me decent. They gave me good severance, and I needed a break
Okay,
because I was in
okay,
graduate school. But I'm getting ready to
right.
transition into a new job soon. So that's why I was like, yeah, I had to take a little break though. I had to take a little brief hiatus. I got hit by the tech thing. So
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
I was gonna say if you
Wow.
needed, if just send me your resume. My company's hiring. It's crazy.
I'll
Yeah,
send it to you
yeah,
real quick.
yeah. I'm like, hallelujah. Pharaoh is giving me the.
I definitely send it. I had to take a break though. I had to kind of reset. That's why I've been gone for about a month or so because it kind of shocked me and caught me off guard. But that comes along with the territory. So, but I'm good, family. I'm good. No worries. Y'all don't start worrying about me. I'm good.
Okay. Well, we're still gonna keep you in our prayers, and I remember Lisa Cabrera came out with something about a lot of things happening, as far as layoffs and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of it's happening in the field that I'm trying to get in, as far as IT. But I'm still gonna,
I'll keep it there.
attain my, certificates or degrees. But it's something. We know this country is going in a direction.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And it continue. Don't stop because we need it in
Yeah.
the new when we
Yeah,
go.
Exactly. That's the
exactly why we're
that's the
doing it.
mindset.
That's
We're preparing
exactly why we're
for
doing it.
what
Yeah.
we're going to contribute to the nation as we see this everything surrounding us and so on and so forth. We know the deliverance is near. So therefore, what are we going to contribute to the nation when we get there? And so we're thinking forward. More forward. And so, yeah. So Brother Karis, anything you want to say before we cut it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like,
To the McGaffies,
Where
thank you for having me
okay.
on.
You said what now?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I said
Okay,
to the
yeah.
McGaffies, I definitely appreciate you all having me on. I'm glad Sister E was able to control herself now. I'm sorry, Sister. I take slides at you because
Wait a
you should
minute.
be coming on
You know what? I got time on my
platforms.
hands. I'm gonna
and-
pop up on one morning show and I'll answer you. I got
Okay.
time. On my hands. Just wait. When is your next morning
She's gonna
show?
try to get my channel shut down. That's okay. Sister, you let me
When
know.
is
I'll
it?
let you on that. I'll let you on in anytime. Anytime. You know.
I'll be on.
No,
You
but
gonna be on
but
Monday?
most high
You gonna
willing,
do
if I
Monday
don't have
morning?
to worry about them spy balloons coming every
Right.
I'm coming to you.
man.
Oh, for you.
They coming for me first. Look, they're gonna be
Look,
like,
Right.
take me out
no,
first.
Karis, you said you was in the balloon earlier. I heard you. You said that's me. I heard you.
Listen, I'm gonna be. I come in peace. I have to get my Google Translate. Google Translate. I
Oh,
need you to
snap.
get the man.
Oh,
Please do not hurt this black man.
right. Okay.
I like Jackie Chan. I like Jet Li.
Right. They're gonna be like,
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
oh
Like
no.
what is this
Oh
all talking about? I
Oh,
can eat
chicken
with
fried rice.
chopsticks. Look, I'm
Right.
good.
Right. They're gonna be like, he cool. He cool. Stand him to the side. He good. But
Just
all right,
tell him I'm a famous black man. I famous black man. You don't kill me.
Right.
I'm famous black man.
they're gonna ask you what you do. You better say you play basketball or something.
Right?
You know,
NBA.
they like it when
NBA.
you play basketball over there. Crazy.
But no, this is a
But all
good
right,
hour.
family. I didn't already cut
into.
into Pastor Kelly's time. I don't want to interrupt anybody from going over there. I appreciate y'all joining me. Really, it's been a blessing. You know, 100. Hey, you know, like I always say, I'm just an awakened child of the Most High. Just coming to fellowship and just to share, you know, my thought patterns and such. So I appreciate everybody that came on and everybody that joined me. You know, I might be on in the middle of the week, you know, if something stirs me up and, you know, I had to come on real quick, but otherwise we will definitely be on next Friday to just chop it up. And I mean, that is if, you know, it isn't a whole EMP shutdown,
Right.
you know, in that case, I see y'all on the coast when we get to the coast, you know what I mean? I'll be holding a sign, you know, that says, if you watched this channel, come to this boat.
You heard of these channels before? Come
Right.
with us.
Right. So, but we love you all truly. We appreciate you. We hope you have a great night. Now I got to go upstairs and find me a snack. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I'm hungry. But y'all take it easy. Love y'all, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Love y'all. Take it easy.
God bless.
All right. God bless. All right.
God bless.
Come on.
No,
Hello.
that's no.